Howdy folks, it's Sean here, and today I'm going to give you a tour of my music space and my music room, which is actually in a different part of the house. When you watch my piano videos here, we're actually in the corner of a dining room. I'm not going to show you the rest of it, but we're in the corner of a dining room. So very quickly, let's start here, then we'll head downstairs to where the meat and potatoes of my music is. So piano, I already talked about this piano in another video. I'm not going to talk about it again, but there it is. On a rug with a cat tree. That's why we have cats come into the videos a lot. Very simply, 2 piano benches. This piano bench, if you're wondering what you see in the videos, has music that I'm currently working on or thinking about. Paper clips, pencil, metronome that I've had since the 90s. Hygrometer to make sure the piano's not going to fall apart. And Lego piano, Lego Nintendo, and a cat hammock. And that's all that's over here. This is the corner of a dining room. So the most exciting stuff, well, I guess this is exciting too, but when it comes to the music room, that's downstairs, so let's head down there right now. All right, so for my music part of the house, my music studio, coming through this door, I'm not gonna show what's on the side of that door, but you walk in, and normally this light is off above us because I normally operate in the dark. I normally only have one little lamp on right there, but for the sake of the video, I need more light or else the audio drifts away from the video because we're above frame rate. So bear with me with this awful light on. But yeah, this room in the dark looks much better, much more quaint and cozy, but we can't film that way. So you walk in, first thing you see though, you see my flight sim setup, my YouTube studio, and my work stuff, and my security cameras, which I have off because otherwise you know where I live because of a landmark in one of the images. Bunch of puzzles, music related, of course, piano. I have a bunch more puzzles to put together. I just haven't gotten to it because I needed a break from puzzles. I have like 30 puzzles under the bed that are all glued together with nowhere to put them. These are just my 3 favorites for now. Anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about my flight sim computer stuff. If you're interested, you can go to my flight simulator channel, and I talk about all this stuff for like 15-20 minutes if you care. Otherwise, I just have a flight simulator set up there. It's getting more and more elaborate as I go. One thing though is this amazing jellyfish lamp. It's for my kid, but the motion and lights gave him motion sickness, so he gave it to me. And it's the coolest addition to my studio ever. On camera, you can see the light flicker because of the frame rate, but in person it's perfectly smooth. You have to trust me on that. So there's that work stuff over here. I cannot tell you my day job. It's literally top secret. And then yes, my work stuff is next to my play stuff, but I've been working from home for 12 years. I'm very, very, very good at managing and separating work and play. So these do not interfere with each other. So there you go. My musical degrees are on the wall. I'm not going to show you because that'll give away some stuff. I do have this cool thing though, why I teach music. I've had that for like 30 years. And you can probably hear the light buzzing above my head. I apologize. It's normally not on, like I said. So anyway, nothing in that safe, by the way. So there's my non-musical stuff in my work/flight sim corner. Just thought I'd point it out. Oh, speaking of musical stuff though, in this closet, a bunch of like weird random instruments that are not worth anything and I don't know what to do with. There's an old accordion that's moldy, my old violin, a couple guitars that are broken, and some other weird, and a keyboard from the 90s that finally bit the dust that I need to get rid of. I just need to see if it's salvageable. So it's in the closet out of sight. This is where the cool music stuff starts. So starting at the top, oh boy, we're really close to that loud light. I really apologize. Guitar tech supplies. I do setups on my guitars and for other people. I've had pro guitarists play after I've set up their guitars and they love what I do. I don't do repair, but I'll do a quick setup for somebody. That's all that stuff is. Old piano lamp for an upright piano. I no longer have an upright piano. Office supplies. But this is where it gets interesting. So what we're looking at here are scores from high school 30 years ago. And what I would do is if the teacher was gone, they would sound like a gym sub, right? Well, what would I do? I would give out my parts, which are still in these folders, and take my scores, and I would conduct the orchestra on days that the orchestra director was gone in high school. And the students would get so mad at me because they'd want a free day, and instead I would be giving them really complicated modern music that they would have to try to play. We did perform some of these. One of these Small Fantasy is on the channel. Just search for that. You can see it. College too, a couple pieces were performed in college with the chamber orchestra. And these are all the parts still in existence, still right here. This is 18 by 11 paper. This is how I used to do all of my writing on. 18 and, yeah, tiny, tiny, tiny. That's like not even a half of an inch. That's like, what, quarter of an inch. That's how tiny that is. Yeah, that's how I used to write everything. 18 by 11 or something like that. Crazy. Have to go to Kinko's or something, whatever they called it back then, to copy to make more. It was nuts expensive too. The only class notes I have from college, programs of all the stuff I used to do until I became a pro, and then I just performed so much I didn't keep my programs. But before I was a pro, I kept every program of everything I did. Sketch from music theory freshman year in college, because I was bored because I already knew theory, so they gave me a test. I tested out of all of college theory, like my first month of college. Because I had lots of experience before I got to college. I had a huge head start, so I just tested out of all of theory, just without even taking a class, just tested out. So I made that like in the beginning of my freshman year, so that means a lot to me. These are pieces from high school. These are all on the channel, all of them. Search it up, you can hear them. What this is that electric keyboard from the 90s, and I was making synthetic electronic music before it was a thing. That was ahead of my time, apparently. Not dance music, just electronic music. And the whole point was to mock the music, because when it was becoming popular, people would do something with computer, not know anything about music, do it all with computer, and say, look what I did, because my friend showed me something he found. So I was trying to make a mockery of it, but then I enjoyed it, made more. That's what that is. Compositions that I don't recognize anymore because they're like studies and things I did. Actual music that I've written. I stopped printing it off. I only print it off if I'm going to record it. Otherwise, I just keep it on the computer. That's what all that is. Flashcards. This is how I got my start in theory. No novels, just outdated textbooks, except this. You need this book. This is the best book ever. And this is how I find music for the channel. What I'll do is I'll go through here, find stuff that's modern, confirm it's never been recorded, at least for sure not recorded on YouTube. Maybe it's been recorded other places, but not on YouTube. I'll order it, sight unseen, not even knowing what I'm getting, and then I record it. That's how the Rachel Eubanks was done. That's how the Tchaikovsky was done. That's how the Seymour Paulus was done. I got 2 more pieces in the hopper, and that's how I find it, and that's how I decide what to put on the channel when I'm not doing like standard stuff from the Canon. But that's where it comes from. Expensive, but worth it. You should get that. Let's see, what else do we have here? Coming down here, these are all of my handwritten scores of things I've composed, going back to 8 years old. And then I still kind of shove them in there. There's so much stuff in there. There's thousands and thousands of pages in here. Not everything I've written, but from like 8 years old through college at least. And then now when I write stuff, I'll put on the computer in Finale, print it off, I'm going to play it. Sometimes I'll save it, sometimes I won't. But there is some cool looking stuff from there. I don't know if I'm going to take it out, but yeah, let me do that. I'll take it out in a second. I'll show you what like my handwritten stuff looks like. I'll show you this too. Before Finale, I did everything with calligraphy pen. Put it in this book, these books. That's what I did, 8 years old until Finale, so until high school or college or whatever. That's what that is. Violin scores I used to write for violin. So in this big folder, bunch of handwritten stuff that somehow I was able to read back then, so I could engrave it. More stuff. This is pretty recent, so I'm gonna go back to some older stuff here. Oops. Not sure what this piece was. Big X through it, so probably just an idea I didn't use. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. These big orchestral things on my paper. Well, that's just piano music. In here somewhere though, there's like some string orchestra stuff. Maybe it's way deep in back. Oh, I know what this is. This is a transcription I made for a piano. You recognize that piece? That's cool. Let's see, trying to find some interesting things here quickly. Here we go. There's a string orchestra thing I did. I know what this piece is. Way back when I was a teenager. So what I would do before finales, I would use a calligraphy pen, ruler, everything, make it look as nice as possible. And that's what I would do. Well, this is interesting. Something I'm trying to find. Oh, this was a piano sonata I wrote. And there's another piece in here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, this was this current-ended? I don't know what piece this is. What is this? Oh, this is for electric keyboard, electronic music. You had to do all these presets and everything. And then there you go. But I'm looking for something in particular here. Nope, can't find it. But anyway, looking from far away, that actually looks engraved. That's pretty crazy. This is really faded though. This is from like early 90s, late 80s. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Maybe that was interesting, maybe not. Back to the room tour. Okay, so what I used to do, I used to take notes of my lessons and practice notes. Every time I practice, I'd write stuff down, but then I was spending more time writing stuff down than practicing, so I stopped. But it is good for students to write down, like keep practice journals, I guess that's what that is. Then this Berkeley score. Oh, these are scores. So what I would do when I was like 14, 15 years old on a Friday night is I would take a Beethoven score book and listen to all the symphonies on tape, or maybe CD, but probably tape. Just listen to them, study the scores over. That's how I learned how to score things, compose things before I started taking composition lessons. Just study on Friday nights, alone in my room as a teenager. I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but too late now. Coming down here, this is the extent of my piano music library. People are shocked. They think, because I used to be pro, I would have shelves and shelves and shelves of music. I don't, because a lot of things, playing pro, it's either rented or loaned or borrowed, whatever. So I didn't really have a whole lot I needed myself. So I got a lot of standard stuff there, mostly modern stuff here. Everything is legally printed or copied. Nothing in these folders is illegal, not a single sheet. I do everything legally. I'm very careful of copyright. I respect copyright, etc., etc. But anyway, yeah, that's the extent of it. It's not very big. Down here's a bunch of pop music and guitar pop music and some violin stuff and a Formula One book, apparently. I don't know why I have so much pop music. Probably just requests of people and weddings and performances over the years. People want something, I'll just buy the book and keep it, add it to my little library. This is what remains of my teaching supplies when I used to teach little kids. And that's because I had stuff in a box that got water damage. A couple boxes that got water damage. I just threw it all out. This is all that survived. This is all I need though, because I don't teach little kids anymore. I teach adults, and then I just have other resources. My extent of my Christmas music, right there. What's down here? Trinkets and things people buy me, just random stuff I get for holidays that I don't know what to do with, because I'm not a knick-knack person, so it just sits there. That's a real wooden metronome though. Back in the 90s or 80s, that was like 150 bucks. Now they're dirt cheap because they're plastic, but that is real and it's wood, but it's not even. It goes thing like tick, 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 tick. It's not even. It needs to be serviced by a clock person. I just use an electronic one, so whatever. What's over here? Paper shredder. Don't care about that. This though, I use these microphones and stuff for recording the piano, but back here is a tenor recorder. Why is there a tenor recorder with my tripods? I don't know, but it's there. It's there. I don't know why. It's whatever. It's kind of funny. Over to the guitar corner. So the piano is upstairs. Obviously, I started the video showing you the piano. Now we're going to talk about the guitars. So I don't play guitar much on the channel. In fact, guitar with me is kind of interesting. I've been playing since 8 years old, and I started composing with it, with guitar, but I'm not as good as you would expect me to be, I guess. And that's just because even though I started at 8 years old, I played for a couple years, take a decade off, play for a couple years, take another decade off, play for a couple years. You know what I mean? So I'm not as good as I could be. I'm a good rhythm player though. Like if you need a rhythm player, I'm your man. But don't ask me to play one note of a lead. The only lead I can play is What's Up by Four Non Blondes. That's it. But I know all the chords. I can jump. I've been in jam sessions, jump in, play chords, follow along, no problem. But if they say take a solo, then I'm like, nope, can't do it. I used to jam with my rock star cousins. I have some rock star cousins that, if you're into grunge, if you were into grunge in the 90s, you would probably know them and know some of their projects. So I used to jam with them a lot. but that's the extent of my guitar. But I can talk about the guitars. I have a lot of them. A lot of this stuff was actually given to me. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I have a lot of stuff that's given to me. I have more stuff in the closet that was given to me too. So let's see. The only guitars I purchased were the 3 on the wall. Everything else was given to me or I made. So let's go through these super quickly. This is, a music video after all. Let's try to get away from that nasty light. Seagull Entourage Rustic Cutaway Electric from 2011. My first real guitar. So for 20 some odd years, from 8 years old until 2011, so like, yeah, literally almost 30 years, I played a 3/4 size guitar with a neck that looked like a banana. So when I got this guitar, my first real guitar, I improved immensely and quickly. It was very cool. If you don't know anything about Seagull, they're from Canada, made by Godin. They're very, very high-end guitars for very, very low-end prices. And the reason for that is because they have a deal with Canadian government. They can get the wood basically for free, just about, so they don't have to pass on that to the customer. So you can get a very, very high-end instrument for very, very low cost. People will go so far as to say a $600 or $700 Seagull is better than a $1,500 to $2,000 of another brand. It's all opinion, of course. I agree with it, but that's because I know Seagull very well. You may not agree, but if you ever see a Seagull, play it, try it. Solid wood top on this one. An amazing, amazing guitar. It sounds so good. I use phosphor bronze strings on it. It's so good. This tuning stability, even with weather changes, I hardly need to tune it. I've only touched the truss rod twice in 12, 13 years. And I do guitar techie stuff, so I know what I'm doing. I just haven't needed to touch it. You cannot say that about 99% of guitars. They need to be adjusted twice a year with the weather. This I've adjusted twice total, and it's beautiful. So Seagull, go for it. Headstock is an acquired taste, but other than that, amazing guitars. Try one for yourself. My Cordoba C5 Cutaway Electric. High-end student guitar, low-end professional, people say. So if you have a student who will stick with it, get something like this. If you're a pro that wants to gig and doesn't want to worry about their instrument, an expensive instrument, getting lost or anything, get this super amazing classical guitar for beginners and advanced people. This has a truss rod in it too, which I have had to adjust a few times. Out of the box, super high action, make some adjustments, it's fine, but you do have to wrestle with it in the beginning. But once it's set, it's good. Keeps breaking the D string, but that is normal for classical guitars. You just have to find a brand of strings that won't break the D string on your classical. That's normal stuff, unfortunately. Hopefully this time I got it figured out. That D string's been holding for a while. So anyway, there you go. Cordoba, get one if you want classical. Get it. Takamine, however you want to pronounce it, from England. My dad gave this to me just before he passed away. Again, they do make expensive guitars, but this is from the low cost range, but it's solid, bright, loud, love it. I use it for DADGAD, so this is tuned and set up for DADGAD. I actually have a DADGAD video on that guitar on the channel from like 12 years ago. You should check it out. I love DADGAD. I need to do more with it. So there's my DADGAD guitar. Parker P30, lower end. It's not like the Nightfly or whatever they called it before they had to change their name for legal reasons. Parker not made anymore, but if you ever see a Parker, you can get one. They're awesome guitars. They're not too heavy. They feel kind of small compared to my other guitar. I'll show you in a minute, but I love it. Stays in tune, whammy bar, it all works. Given to me by a coworker who needed to get rid of it so he could get the more expensive version. So I got this for free. After that, my music, I just have a bunch of charts I play from and take notes. Power supply down there. I do not play standing up anymore because of my heart condition, so I took all my straps off. I have a footrest, a classical footrest down there that I use. Cube amp, rolling cube, if you want a quick and easy combo amp, probably the best you can get, just for quick and easy. If you don't know anything about combo amps, you need an amp for guitar, get a cube amp. Can't go wrong. That was given to me as well. I actually have 3 of those because people keep giving me their stuff. I don't even know what the other 2 are. I started with an Orange Crush amp, a little one that had bad powers in it, but this is more solid. Why is it so weird in the video? There we go. The pod given to me because my friend wanted to upgrade to something else. I love it. It does more than I'll ever need. I spend more time playing with this thing than I do playing the guitar sometimes. But you have to learn how to use it. There's a learning curve to it. It's not terrible, but any amp model or any amp cabinet sounds you want, pedals you want, you can preset everything. It's fun. Loop pedal built in, wah pedal built in. I love it. Up here, my cigar box ukulele. I used to build cigar box guitars and cigar box ukuleles and sell them. And so I made those 2. That's not made. Made this myself, not from a kit. A lot of people get a cigar box and a kit and build an ukulele. All you do is screw on the neck and you built it. That's not what this is. This is rustic because it's completely made from scratch. Of course, the cigar box came with the cigar box, but everything except for the tuners I did. Tie block, bridge, frets, nut, everything I did myself, and it's awesome. It's actually better than this mid-range ukulele down here, to be honest. I love this thing. I did not put a pickup in it though, but all my other ones have pickups. So he says, held them. I made another one just like this. A guy who tours with symphonies came by at a festival and bought one from me. He said it's one of the best ukuleles he's ever played, which is maybe a little exaggerated, but he was so excited the way it looked and everything, and he was into unique instruments. He said it was the best one he's played. So I'm like, thanks. Bought it. I gave him a discount. He was a touring musician with symphonies, so he played a unique instrument. So if a symphony, like a symphony needed someone who knew that unique instrument, he was flying around all the time. So he said he was going to play in his hotel room all the time. It was just like this one. It was such an exciting moment. Lower level, so there's my exit if I need to. I won't show you what's above it because there's a skyscraper you'll recognize and then you know where I live. Some trinkets on the wall or on the thing, and it's dirty. I keep this window open usually all the time, even in the winter. Ukulele that was given to me by a student who's relocating. It's a really good ukulele too. It's like, it's pretty solid mid-range ukulele. I like it. It's fun. Cigar box guitars. I have made and sold hundreds of these. These 2 are my best that I kept for myself. They're fretted with high action, so you can slide or fret. Perfectly intonated. Stay in tune. Use pretty heavy strings, the lowest 3 strings of a guitar. They have pickups in them, so you can rock out. I have videos of these on the channel and some others, so search the channel for cigar box guitar. I have several videos of those. I have a bunch more in the closet that they're like earlier builds and they're not very great, so I never sold them. They're in the closet somewhere. But yeah, check that out. Even though I'm not super good at regular guitar, I am really good at those, so check it out. Last but not least, my Chapman ML2. It's original ML2. You can tell because it has string through instead of a tail. But it's really nice. It's really, really heavy though. And it's actually increasing in value somehow, because if I look at used prices, they're more than I paid for it, and I bought it new. So that's cool. I love my Chapman. It's all stock and everything. I don't know what to say about it other than it's awesome. Chapman is a great brand. Rob Chapman, YouTuber, turned musician, turned guitar builder. Cannot go wrong with the Chapman. They're getting really, really expensive now because their pro level instruments are so high quality and so good, but they're still boutique, so they're not mainstream yet, but they're really good guitars. Even this original series, really, really good guitars. I love it so much. I do have one video, I think, with this guitar on the channel. It's like a blues thing I did. But anyway, anything else? As far as the guitar stuff goes, I maybe could do more guitar stuff on the channel. Like I said, I'm not as good as you think I would be, given how long I've played. I do have a classical piece. I did green sleeves and Dad-Gad on that guitar, I think. Somebody commented that they didn't like the arrangement because it was like, didn't follow the rules and was modern, but I mean, that was the point. That it was modern and follow the rules in alternate tuning. So that kind of bugged me for a while, but whatever, I got over it. But that's on that guitar. So I have 3 of these, at least 3 of these guitars on my channel if you search. So anyway, that's it. So there's my music studio that you don't see in my videos because my piano's in the dining room, like I said in the beginning of the video. So here's my music studio stuff where I edit and do guitar stuff and flight some stuff, and there you go. Alrighty, hopefully you enjoyed it. Subscribe because there will be music soon. Piano's getting tuned very soon. I'll be recording a few things, minus one piece because of the jumps and commotion in the left hand at performance tempo. It caused me to faint because of my heart condition. So that's a bummer, but otherwise I have stuff I'm recording, so subscribe so you know when that goes live, and I'll see you then.